So what we're going to be discussing today. So I'm just going to make sure everybody's muted. Okay. So what we're going to be discussing today, we're going to be talking about searching designs and templates and little tips and tricks to make it a little bit more efficient for you. We'll be talking about uploading graphics, videos, logos to your Canva account. And then once we upload, we're also going to download the files back to your computer so that you can use them on your various social media accounts. And then what we're going to do is customizing pre-existing templates. So looking at all the templates, and that's what the big draw with Canva is all the templates and how to use them and customize them for your own business. So thank you everyone who's sharing. So we've got Terry from the Green Gecko, we've got Lindsay from Goat Ridge Farm, Marjorie from Yes Own Life, I think. Facebook, Yes Own Life. I don't know what your business is, my dear. Yes Own Life, okay. And then we've got Jess from Collins Physio, and they've got their links there. So feel free to connect with some local businesses. So introduction to Canva. So most of you know it as a really good tool for social media. And what it is, in fact, it's a graphic design platform for social media, so all your digital needs, as well as offline as well. So if there's any restaurants in here, anybody doing print media, you can do print media in here as well. So it's online, yes, but also offline as well. So one of the things that a lot of people love is that you can choose from images, and they're all, not all, a majority of them are free to use. There is a paid level within Canva. Apparently I have a runtime error. So you can choose from, it says 1 million images, there's more, and I'll show you other ways to find more graphics. There's lots of layouts, and this is kind of the big draw with most people is the layouts, that they can say, oh, I don't know where to start. So you go through the layouts. There's also easy photo editing as well. And I'm of the cloth that I grew up with Photoshop version like 1.0 in tech class in high school in the year 2000, and we were using Photoshop. So a lot of the tools in here make it very, very easy. So as I was saying, most of us are drawn to kind of the pink quadrant where it's social media. So we've got a Facebook page, we've got an Instagram account, we want to make pretty graphics, but also think about how you can use it offline as well. So if you're doing any business proposals, if you're doing presentations and you're sick of the PowerPoint presentations, there's templates for that as well. You can use it personally as well. If you've got invitations, you're throwing a party, you can do that, or business cards. So it's, again, online and offline, and I'll show you the different templates within there. So I do want to like put this up front. We are going to be talking about free Canva, and I will highlight whenever a tool perhaps would be within paid. It works out to be, I think, $13, $14 per month if you do need a paid. And hands down, I'd say it's very much worth it because it simplifies your life so much. Okay. So I've got some of your businesses in here, which is awesome because then I pick on you. So if you've come to my webinars before, you do know that the more I know about a business and the people in the chat, the more I will pick on you as we go through and for demonstrations. So what I'm going to do, and what I do with all my webinars, is I'm going to show you kind of in this format, in this still format, but then I'm going to bring up Canva and show you live as well. Okay. So what Canva is really good for, it starts with this question. It says, what do you want to design? So you can actually key in the words Instagram post or Instagram story or LinkedIn post or flyer, and it's going to start with a template, and it's going to give you a canvas that is that size requirement. So whether it's for print media or for online media, it's really awesome for that. And then once you choose that template. So in this case, I chose an example of Instagram post. So these are just different templates that are, I'll say, the starting point. So I don't recommend anyone running over to Canva, grabbing the first Instagram post here. So do whatever makes you happiest and posting it on their Instagram. I'm going to say always customize it in some way, shape, or form. So those are the Instagram posts, and there's thousands of them. But then there's things like YouTube thumbnails. So if there's anyone here who has a YouTube channel that they want those custom graphics for the cover, they have YouTube thumbnails. So we're going to go through a couple examples of those and the different options available for Canva. Something else Canva does is sometimes it makes series or grouping. So in this case, it's a grouping, it looks like, for a restaurant. So if you're within that, whether a restaurant or you're looking to make a series on Instagram, you could do something like this. Again, this is the template. Perhaps you're going to customize it with your own maybe font or colors and graphics, but it's a starting point where you can say, okay, I see where they're going with this. I understand. Now I've got 5 posts. They're all the same, but they're all kind of different. So then you've got that consistency almost wrapped in there, as opposed to sometimes starting with one of these and saying, okay, I've got the big annual super sale. What do I do next? So these groupings are nice because it's almost like you can plan multiple at a time. So the same thing for stories as well. McKenna, I'm going to say I'm doing a Instagram stories webinar tomorrow. So I'm spending a whole hour on just stories. So they do have groupings for stories as well. So you know that as people kind of tap through on Instagram, maybe there's a consistency to it. They could be using something like Canva in this case. And then the other thing, and then I'm going to flip over to Canva. So the other thing here is the animation. So let's just, and this is a very simple one. So it's just this little line going across, not a big deal, but it starts to add some movement to it. So for an Instagram post, it's not static, it's got some movement to it. And then we'll talk about the complexities to that next week. I'll put the link in Jasmine after the webinar. Okay, so let's bring up Canva. Okay, so this is Canva. It can be a little bit overwhelming when you are getting started. So number one, when you're getting started with Canva, you do make a profile. So you can see my face up at the top here. I'm logged in, which means that as I move through and create graphics, it's saving automatically for me. So a lot of people say, I've made a graphic, where is it saving? Like, it's saving to your profile. So to get access to Canva, you do have to have a profile. As you start to create the graphics, it will save automatically, which is kind of a beauty thing about that as well. Okay, so up at the top is that main question that I said. So it already knows kind of what I usually use. It says a for you, but you can say, oh, I'm here for the social media. That's what I want. So I can say social media, and then it's going to give me a selection here. So I've got Instagram post, I've got Facebook post, Instagram story, and so on. And you think, that's not quite what I want. I can also tap up at the top here. I tapped create design, and I can key in Instagram. And these are all the options that are coming up for Instagram. Ooh, Catherine just had a very excited moment there. That's good. See, I watch you people too. So I can see Instagram post, we've got a Reels video, we've got stories, and then also it gets specific to the type that you're getting into. So Easter, maybe not so much this time of year, but maybe an autumn Instagram post. So same thing goes for Facebook. So you can see Facebook ad, Facebook covers, posts, shops cover, stories, and then we can see LinkedIn. And as I hover through here, it tells me the size. And this maybe doesn't matter so much to you, but it says 2000 by 6000 pixels. It already knows the size requirements for LinkedIn, for Instagram, for Facebook, because we've all done it. We've all Googled, what size is a Facebook post? And then we usually get multiple answers. So Canva updates its I'll say services often, such that you can say, oh, Facebook post, oh, it's 940 by 788. Okay, it's already sized. Great, I can move on. So that takes the guesswork out of it. So really, whatever platform you're on, there's going to be some template for it. So I just want to bring up, I don't know if there's any restaurants, but this is one of my favorite examples. Not restaurant, menu, not a restaurant. But they actually have for print media options for menus. There's a mental health poster, which is interesting. Lunch menu, takeout menu, Thanksgiving menu. Now I'm curious. So we're just going to look at what the Thanksgiving menu is for a second. So if I was in maybe a catering service or putting together a special fall menu, this is my starting point. And I can simply say starters, and I can take out, and maybe I'll put turkey soup, green salad, more turkey, and then ice cream. So I use a lot of the templates as that starting point. Say, ooh, I like the look and feel of this. I like the, the leaves and the font types. It can all be changed. You can customize it all. So every time I hover on an element, so the leaves here, the font, I can change it. So if I don't like that leaf, I can click delete. Or this one, I can click delete up here. So really you can customize any of the templates to however you need to. So I'm gonna get out of that. And let's hear from the group. What do you want me to make today? So cleaning up a photo to add to my website. I've been using Facebook posts. Jane, so you just wanna you wanna clean up a picture? Like you wanna put a filter on a picture essentially? Jane? Oh, we can do a Facebook post. We'll get into it, but we can do a Facebook post for now. So let's do Facebook post. And this is what we're starting with. So you'll see now the template is more of a rectangle. And now I want to draw your attention to the left-hand side. Adding type to a video. So that's next week, Catherine. So on the left-hand side is the different graphics associated with the Facebook template. So this is, again, a starting point. So I think there's a physio. I think Catherine's a physio. Why physio? Let's do medical. Sometimes you have to go broad. I had a participant in one of these webinars years ago, and she kept saying, put in Airbnb. And I'm like, that's a product name. So maybe we just want rental or like bed or bedroom. She's like, no, Airbnb. I'm like, no, too specific. It's not what we can do. So sometimes you have to back up a little bit and say, okay. And I think it's Catherine. I see the pictures on the wall there. Maybe you're the physio. Are you the physio therapist? See, I'm picking on you. So you have to back it up. I didn't see physiotherapist, so I just kind of went the medical route. So it's kind of within that vein of perhaps what you're looking for. So in this case, I did medical, and we could start with an osteopath and massage. Okay, there we go. Now Catherine's got everyone knowing about what she does. So now we've got this guy who is not Catherine. Very nice stock photo. So this could be a starting point. So what I want you to look at when you're looking at these templates is say, okay, do I like the look and feel of this? Or do I want something maybe like this? Oh, that's really busy. That's too busy for me. Maybe this. Maybe Catherine has like a physio app. Maybe. I don't know if you have a physio app. So maybe she has an app that she sends to her clients after the appointment to tell them to do their stretches. My physio does that. So we've got 2 templates to work with. And again, all of this can be customized. Okay, so let's start there. Let's bring up this. So what we're going to do is we're going to customize it. And like I said, all of the colors, the fonts, the pictures can be customized, and you can add your own logo to all of this. So I'm going to show you searching for photos. So step number 1. So searching for photos, and then searching for photos more efficiently, which is important. And then we're going to talk about uploading your own images, which is always a concern that people want to be able to upload their own images, which is fine if you've had branding photos done, or even just something as simple as your logo. Yes, you can upload all of that. Okay, so let's make Catherine a graphic here. So on the left-hand side, so we were in templates first. Now on the left-hand side, I'm going to click on elements. And now I'm going to see PHYSIO, physical therapy. And then I see massage as well. Physiotherapy or physical therapy? You're the expert. I don't know what the difference is. Okay, so I type in physiotherapy. And right now it's kind of giving me a whole bunch of different options. So you can see little graphics or clip art, we used to call in the day. We've got some photos. You can see here, these are pros, so those would cost. We've got some more photos. We've got some little graphics here. And you think, okay, this is already a time waster. So if you're looking just to replace this dude here, maybe you want to check out photos. So now you're only going to get photos, and it might be all hopefully physio related. So we can see here, we could add some taping. But I want to take it a little bit further. Yes, you can add your own photos. So I want to take this physiotherapy a little bit further. I want to click on these settings. So I've typed in physiotherapy. I'm going to click on settings. And in here is where you tell Canva, okay, I want physiotherapy, but I only want pictures with maybe the tone of blue or light blue. Okay. And I want them to be vertical. And I want them to be free. So if you're just using free Canva, this is how you can do it. Oh, we didn't find any pictures because blue is pretty. Let's just clear the picture. Let's just do free. So at least now you're only going to be served images that are free, because nothing, for those of you using the free account, I've been there. Nothing's worse than finding exactly what you want and then going, I don't want to pay for it. So at least now you've narrowed it down a little bit. Okay. So we can now add the stock photo. So let's take out those for a second. So let's just put, I'm going to put a doctor in here because I know there'll be a standalone image. Photos. I'm going to make you a doctor, Catherine. So you say, okay, I want to replace this guy. Let's pretend this lady here is your on your team. That doesn't look right, does it? We need to take a background out. So this is one of those paid features. So I'm going to click on Edit Image. And I'm going to click on the beach ball. That is the background remover. And then take a sip of coffee because it takes about 10 seconds. And this, back in the day, back in grade 11 tech, would take us hours. Hours. Like a whole class to basically remove this background around her white jacket, around her hair. And there she is. So now what we're going to do, has anyone used Photoshop before? Like even, okay, Catherine has. So in Canva, in Photoshop, there's things called layers. So graphic design is created with layers and layering. So Canva has a version of layers, although the screen doesn't pop up with the layers. So I can basically right click my mouse and send to back. Oh, send back, all the way back there. So you could have something like that. She's popping out of there here. So Nadia, I don't seem to have the option to choose free. Everything else is there in filters. Okay, so that must be a paid, maybe that's a paid thing, which is weird. Why would I want to search for free? So the background remover is definitely a paid feature, but to do something as easily and quickly as this is beautiful. And yes, it can be with your own picture. So a lot of people will say to me, oh, but can they take out the background on my picture? And the answer is yes. So it can do it for any picture, not just what comes with Canva. Okay. So now we've got our online medical consultant. We've added this nice lady here. And then maybe we'll find another picture here. So if you're having trouble finding what you want with these pictures in here, you're saying like, I'm not finding really what I need to, there are some other options. So on the left-hand side, you're going to scroll all the way down, down. It will say more. And then there are two other options that you can choose from. So one of them is called Pexels, and one is called Pixabay. And some people know them from just a standalone website that they go there, they download the picture, they upload it to Canva. It's actually integrated. So you can click on Pixabay, and maybe I'll say doctor. Maybe I'll do massage. Yes, Brandy, that is a paid Canva. Yep. So now I can see all the images for massage therapy from Pixabay. So now instead of going to Pixabay, downloading and re-uploading, I can do it from here, essentially. Okay. So we could add maybe this picture in here. Okay. So again, we're going to go all the way to the bottom. There's Pexels and Pixabay. So other options for stock photography. Okay. All right. Let's do another search. Let's just kind of build this. Are other stock photos free? So the ones from Pexels and Pixabay are free. Yeah. Because you can go to their external website or you can use it from here. So let's do, just seeing the other business types here. Farm. So let's check. Let's see what's in the farm. Harvest Festival. Hydroponics. Organic market. You could work with organic market. So in this case, maybe this isn't your basket of vegetables, so we want to upload a different one. We can go to uploads, and this is where you can choose to upload your media. So these are my options. I don't think I have any pictures in here. So you can upload your own media, and then it will organize it based on images, videos, and audio. Okay. So there's the two different options. So if you have your own pictures, you are more than welcome to upload them and include them. And then even so much as, let's see, maybe we'll just change this one around. So we've got her, edit image, background remover, which is a paid feature. Let's give it a minute. We're changing it from a farm, but so that's my image that's been uploaded. We can do the same thing on here as well. Okay. All right. So we've got pictures. We can do some searching. We can find some free photos. We can upload our own pictures. Now the next part will be called grids and frames. And grids allow you to place images. And I did it very quickly in a previous screen, but grids will hold the image in a specific ratio, and it will make it easier to manipulate them. Frames will add shape to your images. So if I wanted to put or use, for example, here, I've got, it looks like a computer screen, computer monitor. I put in this picture over top. So it looks like this is on my computer screen. So there's a lot of different frames. We will go through the different types of frames. So there's computer monitors, there's iPhones, laptop computers, whoops, circles, letters, location markers, and so on. So I'll show you how you can start to use frames because they are very handy when you are designing. Okay, so frames. So this was the example if you caught me do it really quick, this little iPhone. So I took it out, and this background image here with the blue and the cloud, the grass, that is basically saying, put a graphic in me. So put a graphic in me. So I'm gonna go back to my elements. I'm gonna look at, even like weight training maybe. I'm gonna choose photo. And all I'm doing is I click on the graphic on the left and I pull it over. And then I double click it to reposition it. And I don't like that they're looking off screen, so I'm gonna flip them. So that at the top, there's a flip and horizontal. So that's an example of a frame. So another example of a frame, let's do another one in here. So same thing, we're going to go back to elements. We're going to search for the word frame. And these are the different ideas. So I'll open up a new screen, make it white so you can see it. So there's a circle. It's funny. This one looks like an old film. So remember film, if you're of that age, you remember putting film in a camera. So this looks like a negative. There's ones with, this one looks like a Polaroid. There's our computer screen. This one always gets used for Women's Day, which I find interesting, International Women's Day, because apparently this looks like a female face with long hair. I think it's just a brush stroke, but that's just me. And then things like, this looks like a donut here. So I'll show you what these do to your images. Has anyone used frames before? Let's see. Okay, McKenna, you've got friends in here. Nope. Okay, some of you have used frames. So I'm just going to do something generic. So I typed in the word flower, and I'll brighten up today. So I've got 4 different types of frames. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this rose picture here. I'm going to pull it. And now it's a circle. Same thing. Now it's a donut. I'll call it a donut. Now it's on my computer monitor. Now it's in that brush stroke. So it starts to add shape to your visuals instead of constantly being square or rectangular and kind of fighting with those dimensions. So for something like this, I'm going to duplicate. So I'm using this duplicate up at the top. It says duplicate page. And I'm going to delete. So I maybe am a florist and I want to launch my new website. So I could do something like that. And oftentimes you see this with marketing companies. They'll have like the computer monitor, the iPhone, and maybe a tablet, and they'll put them together. I don't know if they use Canva, but so now I can just basically do a promotion for my new maybe floral design or floral delivery service. And you think, oh, maybe I don't want that. Maybe I want a different flower. Oh, it didn't take. There we go. We've got that flower. And I know somebody was asking about videos. We're going to get into it next week. You can also add videos as well to your frames. Okay, so it's as easy as click, drag across to your frame. I'm going to copy this and go here. So why would I use frames? It adds, again, like I said, shape to your design. So if you want something in a corner that's a little bit more rounded, if you want something coming in from the top like this, again, in this case, it's rounded, or the side. So sometimes you see designs that look like this. Does anyone notice what I'm doing here? What's happening when I'm doing this? I'm a teacher, I call on you. What's showing up on my screen right now? The pink line. It creates lines like a grid. Yes, grid lines. So grid lines are your friend in Canva. So most of us don't have a perfect eye. So if we're looking for the center, so as I pull my graphic across, so there's ever so slightly, you can see the pink along the left-hand side. So that's the center of my circle. You can see the center line, which means it's lined up in the center. So that's how you can start to create that symmetry when you're moving items around on your page, okay? Now, other types of grids that might be of interest to you, grids and frames. Some people like the letters, they have fun with it. Let's just do H, I, do it very simple. So hi, and then I'm gonna search for plaid. Oh, so some people wonder where they can do this. Oh, it stopped snapping. That's good. There we go. That one. Oh gosh, that looks like Minecraft. That's too much. I don't know why these aren't, there we go. I like that one. So you can start to make letters with your frames as well that adhere to certain, in this case, it's plaid. I did my son's birthday party years ago when we could have birthday parties using this technique. So you can use this. They've got lots of different font types in here as well. So if you want to simply say, and create graphics that have frames with kind of that custom lettering, this is how you're going to do it. Okay. Now something else that's of interest to you, if I click my mouse and drag, I'm going to select both the H and the I. And what I can do is click group. And now I can move these two pieces together. So now they're a group. So it's similar if you've ever done this in Microsoft Word or PowerPoint. It's the same concept. You're just putting elements together so that they move together. So Angela is saying, can you add your own pictures into the letters? Yeah, you could. So ungroup. So if I wanted to, let's go back to this gal. It's not maybe going to look good with some of the pictures, but you could try. You could try. But yeah, you can add, she looks okay in that. But yeah, you can add your own pictures. It's just, in the case of the letters, they might look a little bit awkward depending what the people are doing. Let's see. So like even something like that, you could do that. But yeah, that's the whole purpose of the frame, is to be able to put in either your own pictures or those other pictures. Okay. And then the last part I'll show you, grid or grids. So these are fairly commonly used. Instagram, I don't even know if they still have the same app, but they have like a grid app that you can put multiple pictures in. Not many people use them anymore, but there's time and place for some of these grids. So if you want to add multiple pictures in, you can see that they're perfectly sized, in this case, rectangles across the board. You can change the dimensions, so if you want them more square format. So let's go back to my uploaded pictures, and maybe we'll put in double click, move, double click, move down. So it makes it fairly easy to add multiple pictures that are all sized correctly. So rather than having multiple frames and then you fiddling with making sure they're all the same size, grids are really good for that. So you can see I've added these pictures of the clothing in, and I can resize it so that it shows off whatever the piece is that we need to show off. Okay. So something like that. So grids are really great for that. Okay, I'm going to pause for a second. How are we doing so far? So we've talked about photos, uploading photos, frames and grids. Tell me your questions. Can you repeat the grouping? Absolutely. So I am going to put, oh, that's not a good example. I'll just use a nice bright flower, very fall-like, not quite. I'll just put some flowers in here. Okay, so I've lined them up. It's honestly, it's a habit. It's just an unconscious habit at this point to center a lot of things. So again, I line them up. So see that solid line? That means the graphics right in the middle. Solid line, graphics right in the middle. And rod, I'm going to click and drag. So now I've got, I can see both flowers are selected, and it creates this dotted line. And then I can click group at the top. So now it becomes one. And why would I do this? So now I can click and move and they go together. If I shrink them, they go together. And at any point I can click ungroup. Other questions? Not that I know of, Terry, that you can divide it into thirds. If you wanted to do something like that, you could always add your own grid lines. So like something like this. And then what I would do, so I haven't talked about this yet, but what I would do is lock it so that it's divided into thirds. I can't move it. So you can see at the bottom here, there's a little lock. I won't be able to add anything to it. And it could just be a background that you kind of work around a little bit. So that would be my one suggestion, because they don't have that customization that I know Photoshop and InDesign would have, but that would be my workaround. Sometimes I play with it different ways too, but that would be my first knee-jerk reaction. I'll delete that. More questions? I'm here for your questions. No? Okay. Okay. So icons. Icons are a really interesting way to spruce up your design as well. So again, I'm of the age, I call it clip art, but some of them are pretty cute. So many of them can be customized by colors. So we'll talk about how to customize colors in a minute. So there's kind of the black and white, and then some of them are already colored for you. So some, yes, you can color to match your branding, and some, no, you won't be able to color. And I'll show you kind of which ones are. There's also just very generic shapes, and you know, you can do a lot with a box, you can do a lot with a circle. So we'll talk about a little bit about shapes. Okay, so your clip art. So let's go back to, I'm going to just use social media. I'm going to search for social media in the elements, and now I want to click on graphics. So now graphics here, I can see maybe you want to promote people to get to your social media. So up at the top, I know I can color this one because it's got the little color box and it's black currently. So then I can pick a different color. So I can do green, I can do pink, okay? Or if you want, maybe you're promoting your Instagram account, I'll just click Instagram. There's the center. And again, maybe I'll just do green or blue. Okay, now we're into coloring. Now we're into coloring and customizing. What is a hex? What is a hex code? Does anyone know what this is? No? Okay. So when I click on this blue, it comes with this. Has anyone ever seen this before, where they go through colors and there's these like alphanumeric numbers and letters? So that's a very specific code associated with this blue. And every color has it. So I have the tool. This is not a Canva thing. This is just a Chrome plugin. So up at the top, see this little color dropper? It's called Eyedropper or color picker. And I can pick a color from any website. So this is a free thing just you do on Chrome. So I can pick a color from any web page. So if I want to know what this purple is, up at the top, see the little square? It's kind of following me around. I'm going to click, and now it's purple. Well, it's called royal blue apparently, but it has this 4E65DE. And now I'm going to go over here and paste that in. So now that is a very specific purple that's maybe matching Canva. Maybe Canva is promoting their Instagram account. So that's called Eyedropper Color Picker, and it's a Chrome extension. So this is a nice tool because sometimes maybe you worked with a graphic designer and they gave you a blue or a red and you're like, I don't know what the red is. I can never match it perfectly. This is going to do it for you. So it gives you this code here. It's that first one up at the top. And then you'll bring it over to Canva, select a new color, and then paste it into here. Now, if you do, for whatever reason, maybe you went through, you did the whole brand guidelines, you've got a nice big document, it tells you all about the colors. You can always type it in yourself. So mine is BED73D. So that's my green. So if you know it, great, you can type it in. Okay. All right. Are you excited? Let me show you one more thing. So I want to actually go back to this purple and copy this. Have you ever searched for a color? Not quite, Sandy. I'll talk about that in a second. So see where it's got the search. I went right to this little button, add a new color, but it says try blue or a code. So I'm going to actually type in the purple and it's going to give me options. So it says this purple matches very well. This is a very boring color I picked. But it's got purple, like this kind of beige camel color, brown. So it's saying that is a good template to use if you decide to go with this purple. Okay. Now, hold on, some of you weren't looking. Let's go back. Okay. So now I'm in here, it says get a designer's touch. See that? These are ideas. So again, if you're stuck on colors or you think, oh, I've got a pink and I don't know what goes with pink, or I've got blue and I don't know what goes with blue, or I want to go pink. Apparently I'm picking on pink today. It will basically take all these colors and apply it, watch this, apply to all pages. So it recolors everything into that specific tone. So that's one of the options in here. And you can say apply to all pages. It comes with fonts. It changes all the colors automatically for you. Game changer. See, look I made it worth your time, Carrie. You're good. Okay, so Sandy is asking about, she's noticing something on my screen. So the other thing, and I think you might be able to have one of these if you have a free account. So I want you to go right home, not home, like go home on Canva and go to brand kit. And this is where I can add colors. So these are already that's my green. These are my pinks, my bright colors that I use for everything. And I can add different templates. So I can add, you know, if, let's say yellow is my color, I can search for templates that have yellow. So if you're really kind of in between, you're like, I haven't really settled on like a specific color that Jennifer's talking about, but you like yellow, you could key in yellow and say, okay, I could go with this one. Maybe hello there, neighbor. Ooh, Meadow Bounty. And it's already set for you. So now you've kind of got a custom template. You've got, they all match. They're all complementary colors. They all come with the different codes. So let's add another one. Let's do blue. Ooh, in the blue, that's fun. Ooh, berry blues, that's fun too. So now it's got two different tones, and let's go back to our designs. So now we've got, if I go into styles, I can see I've got Meadow Bounty and Berry Blues. And now I can automatically change the tones into that. And I can say shuffle, shuffle. That's all you have to do, shuffle. And you're like, nah, too dark, too pink. Not bad. I want to go back to this one. I would go with, and it just shuffles between the colors for you until you land on something you love. So same thing for this. Let's make sure it's selected, click Berry Blues. No, it's not bad. I can make that work. I don't like that those are both pink, but I could work with that. So again, it helps to pull together all of your colors, the consistency. So now we could, in theory, make these really go together. They've got waves, they've got kind of the berry colors. This one's just, I was showing you something, that's not really anything. And in here, it's changing the color on our screen and then the background. But it gives you the options without you manually doing it. So same thing with Meadow Bounty. Okay. Cool. Is this cool? Is this good? Okay. McKenna's okay with this. Brandy's good with this. Okay. Good, good. And we haven't even talked about fonts yet. We haven't even talked about fonts. Does anyone have any questions before I move on? Everyone can find their colors. They know the color dropper. They can make a brand kit, right? Is everyone okay with that? The next thing I'll talk about is fonts. Okay, you look good. You look good. Okay. So the next thing on our list is text. And very basic, we can add text. So Gananoque. There we go. See, this is habit to me. I put everything in the middle. So again, there is the difference between paid and free in here. So anything with the crown is a paid font. Anything free doesn't have kind of that designation. I love this font. This is probably one of my favorite fonts. I don't know why, but it is. So I can switch different fonts. So just like Word, we can change our sizes. We can change colors. So now we've got our Meadow Bounty in here. Make it pink. You can change it so it's all, I put it all caps, but it can be all caps. You can change alignment. You can add bullets. You could do spacing and kerning, which is the one I'll explain what this is. I love. So see the amount of space between the two lines, and that annoys some people. They go, ooh, this bothers me. So that's where you get into line spacing. So some people get around it by having two different text boxes. You can just use what's called the spacing. You can space it out, or you can bring it closer together. Okay. The letter spacing is just that. So if you want to space out the letters, you can do that. If you want to squish them together so that they're illegible, you can do that as well. But that tool is there for you. Now, what I love are the effects. These are relatively new. So if you've played with Canva in the past, maybe weren't so excited about it, they've added these recently that you have a lot more flexibility with how your images look. So shadow, you can add different shadow effects. And then within here, you can change how that shadow looks. So I'm making it very long shadow. And let's put maybe, ooh, that's fun. Okay, so I've added in my blue. Looks very 80s, maybe that's why. And then even direction, so I want to move it around. Typically the shadows are on this side. You can blur the shadows so that they are more like a neon. Or if you want to make them lighter, transparency. Okay, so that's one option. Lift, so that's almost like a blur behind it. You can do something similar with the other one. So it just adds a little bit of lift, it adds a little bit of shading behind. You can have hollow, and then you can make it as thick or as thin as you want. Splice is almost like hollow and shadow together. It's a hollow shadow. And this one we have the option for a secondary color. So I'm going to put that blue back. This might make some people nauseous. So again, I can kind of add a little bit of texture to it. Or echo, which is multiple shadows. Again, I'll put the blue so you can see. And direction. Okay, so there you can have a lot of fun with fonts now. This is newish. So glitch, you can kind of achieve the same thing with a few of the options above. You don't get a lot of choice with these ones. You get kind of the blue and red or the red and magenta. You move it around a little bit. Not my favorite, but, and then neon. This one gets used a lot. Neon gets used a lot. Oftentimes, oh gosh, with a yellow or, yeah, that's very bright. So let's go back to shadow. Okay, and then the last thing, which is relatively newish, is curve. So you can add a curve that if you have a circle that you want your text to go around, let's just make this like this. So you can add a curve, and you can see here is how much of that curve. So if you want to add a little bit of that, which way it's going. Okay. Okay, so now we've got a little bit of curvature. You can see the curvature on there. I love Gananoque. And then maybe I'll add a little shadow in there. I'm gonna go back to my pink because I'm a fan. And effects. Offset. So something like that. So again, it adds a little bit of texture, adds a little bit of variety to that font. Okay. How's everyone feeling so far? Good. We're learning lots, learning new little bits and bobs. Okay. Okay, so the last little piece that I'm going to show you is some a little bit about video and then a little bit about animation. Not a lot, but a little bit. And then we'll wrap up probably in 15-20 minutes or so, and then I'll take all of your questions. So I'm going to start on this screen because this is kind of where we are. So you can add animations to it. So you can see as I'm highlighted. Oh, Jasmine, on a desktop, my friend. I have tried on my phone and I cannot function on my phone. My fingers are too fat. No. If you have the skills to do it on a phone, good for you. I am not of that type. But yes, there is a Canva app that you can use. I am not the ideal client for that. There's just a lot to do with it. I'd say it's okay if you want to switch out very basic text and then download it to your phone. But to get your design, you're probably going to want a bigger monitor than your little phone. So I'm going to say animate. So right now I'm going to animate exclusively this text. So it's got the little typing. It kind of reminds me of PowerPoint animations a little bit, so use with caution. That one's fun. Block. That one's fun too. Roll. Ooh, I like that one. Okay. I feel like they've added more. Skate is, I like this one too. And rise, tumble. Now we're into paid, so I'm just warning you that some of these are paid. Okay, so we've got a few different options. So I could say, let's just settle on maybe ascend. Am I going to blow your minds for a second? I'm going to type in the word Gananoque. Has anyone searched for Gananoque on here before? Or like your local city? What's the winter? Did you know there's actual pictures for your city here? There you go. Did you know this? You can search. So you can search for GAN. You can search for Kingston. So a lot of their pictures come from people like me who submit pictures and then make money off of the royalty. So if you're a good photographer, start uploading to Canva. You can make some money off of that. So now I've got I love GAN, and I'm just gonna make maybe that lighter. We'll do that maybe. And then an element, I'll put a basic heart. Okay. So right now I'm gonna delete the other ones here. Actually, no, I don't want to. Delete. So I've got this one, and now I've got this one. So what you can do within each template, you can start to animate the whole template or different elements of the template. So for something like this, I can animate just that text, or I can have the whole, kind of basically all the elements within it. Now, there has been questions in previous webinars saying, can I order how things appear? And not to my knowledge, or not yet. It kind of goes back to that layers, like it feels like they're still working on a few things. But if you want something to be animated, go back to here, I would work on just, or click on doing one at a time as opposed to the whole template. Okay. So you can click your template, click animate, and then photo zoom, photo flow, or something like this. We can say animate, and we could pan or photo zoom. And that's how you start to layer on those animations for each of them. Now, just so you know, depending on how you download the files, and what your intent is for them. So as soon as you start to add animation to your graphics, so the download button is up at the top. The options here are MP4 video, which is suggested. The other one would be a GIF format. So a caution would be if you're going to use animations on Facebook, they do upload funny because they upload as a full video, and then you go through a whole rigmarole of video features when in fact you just really want it to be like a GIF format. So if you just wanted exclusively a GIF format, if you make it 3 to 5 seconds, I'm going to choose just this first girl here. I'm going to choose GIF, which doesn't have sound, and then download. And it does take a while. There are big files that come in. Versus something like this that maybe you're going to use on Instagram, you would do an MP4. Okay. All right, let's see how this comes up. Did I not add my animation to it? Nope. Animate. Oh, I put none. That's smart. Let's try this again. GIF 1 download. Sorry about that. Let's give it a moment. Okay, there we go. So now it's going to upload as a GIF format on Facebook, and it's just going to basically cycle. So it'll upload like an image, so a still image, and it will simply cycle the whole time. So it's not that it's a video and you play and you start, it just does this automatically. Okay, so that would be ideal for Facebook. And if you're having trouble, so if you've made something and you get to Facebook and it says your file is too big, which oftentimes happens, you want to make sure this little clock here where it says edit timing is, I would say no longer than 5 seconds, because as you get bigger, longer than 5 seconds, the file size gets quite large, and then it almost gets too large for Facebook. So just caution there. So if it's a GIF, under 5 seconds. And then this one, we'll make this a little bit longer, and I'll download this one as an MP4 so you can see the difference. Download. We'll just give that a minute. So Rod asked, can you alter the speed of the animation? Not necessarily. Again, it's one of those things that you feel like you should be able to do, but I don't think Canva's quite there with its with the tool. So this is now an MP4. See what happens? It shows like a video that you've now uploaded, and you have to play and pause. See the difference? So GIFs are continuous movement, whereas the MP4 is more of the video format with the start and pause and play. Okay. Okay, Carrie's saying she can't use the app either. All right. People are sending me messages. Thank you. No, it's very difficult to do a lot of things on a device, but this, I would say, a laptop or a computer is ideal. So Trisha's saying, when you download, does it automatically save to Facebook? No. So it depends. So what I've been doing, I use this download option up at the top, and then it's saying, how do you want to download it? So because I've added animation, so in the first case, I downloaded a GIF. So that's got the animation. MP4 was the second one. If I exclusively just wanted to use it as an image, so let's say this one I just want to use as an image, I could download as a PNG format. So that's what I would use for Facebook or Instagram. Now, let's say I wanted to send it to print media, either to get it printed for the office or using it for a print ad. I could download it as a PDF print. I could add in my crop marks and my bleed for printing purposes. And I'll show you what that looks like, just so you know, if a printer does ask for, they'll say, can you send me the file in PDF with crop and bleed? This is what it looks like. So it's got these notches. This is what this crop and bleed is. So if you do, let's say this was an ad for the paper or for, you know, publication, then you could do that as well. So you make one image and it can be static, non-moving, or it can be moving. So you can repurpose it if you want or need to. Okay, now to Trisha's question about publish to Facebook. So there is this button up at the top. I don't use it, but not to say that other people may not, but you can have your images automatically publish to Facebook. They do have, or Canva does have a publishing tool built in such that we could say, hey, we want this picture to be scheduled for, you know, Friday, October 8th. And you could do that. So they do have that scheduling tool built in. I'm not a big fan of it. I prefer to either use the Facebook business suite or my external scheduling platform, because it does sometimes show up a little bit funny. Sometimes if they're not connected correctly, it's going to go to a personal profile instead of a page. So just, you can do it, yes, and that would be done through here, connecting up your Facebook, Twitter, or respective social accounts. But otherwise, I like to do the download. I put it in a Dropbox, then I can access it basically from my device, my computer, my laptop at any point. That's my preferred method, but if you find success doing it with Facebook, then that's great as well. Okay, so you can see in here, if you want to do scheduling, that is a paid feature, but there is that schedule function within there. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to show one last little bit, and then we will wrap up for questions. I'm just going to pick on Ganonokwe. So now we know we can search for Ganonokwe in photos. Nothing for graphics yet. Ooh, there's one for video. I don't know if this is, I don't know. What do you think? Experts, local experts? I don't know. Oh, hold on, Thousand Islands. Is that Bold Castle? Anyone? Local experts? Yeah, Catherine, Bolt Castle? I don't know. Okay. So, oh, Rod's saying yes. Okay. Okay, yeah, there's the boat. So you can search for your local area, but you do need to know your local area enough to know that, okay, that is or that isn't my like hometown or my place. So you can use this stock photography and these stock videos. So even if you want something in the background, and I can move this around, maybe I want to focus in on this boat. You can use these videos for you as well. That's kind of neat. And I'll pick on Kingston, Ontario. That's where I'm out of. And I'll say videos. And some of them are they're enough that there is, so it's just people walking. Like nobody's identified. There's some seagulls, there's some water. But if you're thinking, I would never use video because I don't have video, there's a lot of stock video that you can use in here. And if you want to customize it to make it local, this is how you're going to do it. So little things like this, I think it's like the leaves are moving ever so slightly. So it adds that movement. It adds that video that it's like, ooh, this is really nice, when in fact it's stock video. And this one's cars moving. Because a lot of people do shy away from stock photos or stock videos because they're like, people know it's not Kingston, people know it's not GAN. So by having this little catalog, you can pick and choose some of the pictures out of here. Like you can find some local area photos. I'm picking on Bon Echo because I submitted pictures about Bon Echo. So even like provincial parks, you know, you can look for provincial parks like Bon Echo. We can go over to videos. And that looks like a time lapse. Okay. Same thing. Oh, that one did a lot of time lapse. Okay. That obviously is not Bon Echo because I can see palm trees, right? Like it, so you do have to, when you have to use stock photo video with kind of a cautious eye to make sure that you don't say, oh, this is Bon Echo. And then it's like, no, that is not. That is somewhere with palm trees. Okay. So to get to any of the videos, you're going to do your search just as you did before. So we've got photos, we've got graphics, and we have videos. And most of the time, people start with videos with something simple, abstract videos, and then, you know, it's almost like you can put it in the background. You can make it light. That's a transparency tool. And then there's some movement to it. So it doesn't have to be drastic. It doesn't have to be people walking and talking, but something very simplistic that you can put in the background. Okay, so I'm going to stop there and I will take any of your questions. For those of you who haven't signed up for week 2, we're going to kind of take these initial concepts and build upon them. There's a lot more to know about what you can do with them, but this is just getting the basic tools started. So I'm sure, McKenna, you can throw the link in to register for next week into the chat. If you haven't done so, share it with your friends or colleagues if they want kind of level 2 of Canva. And I can take any questions that you have at this point about Canva. Okay, so something I've tried to do is copy and paste into a new design. So what you can do, you're getting into next week, Terry, but that's okay. So it's a paid feature. So you can do a resize. So if I want to take my Facebook post, this medical gal, and make her into an Instagram story, I could say copy and resize. And it's basically going to move everything over into, in this case, a story size. Now you do have to play with it a little bit to kind of make it the right dimensions, but it has brought over all the elements for you. So you'd have to maybe put this up here, stick that there. So you'll have to play with the kind of dimensions a bit, but that's kind of the starting point. So something like that. Or honestly, sometimes I just select the whole canvas. I use Control Copy and I paste. So if you don't want to pay for the automatic like resize, I use copy paste. So again, I select all the elements. I do Control C for copy, or Apple C if you're on a Mac. I'll go over to, in this case, a different size of different graphic, Control V or Apple V, and now all the elements are there. So same, achieves the same goal. One is more automatic, one is a copy paste method. What option would you use to lighten a photo? So Jane, that we're gonna get into next week, but I'll show you. So we'll just delete her, we're kind of done with you. I'll just do Kingston. I screenshot on my phone and crop. We've all been there. So for something like this, and this is what we're going to be talking about next week, under Edit Image, there's Adjust. So there's brightness and contrast. So you can see brightness. You can bring up the contrast. There's different saturation. And then there's filters in here. And this is a lot of what we're going to go through next week, are all these filters and photo editing tools. But that's kind of getting you started. So upload your photo and then adjust brightness, contrast, saturation. Oh, Terry's saying, what I mean is I have two designs. I want to take some element of one design and move it to another design I've already made. Could you do like a copy paste for that, Terry? Like the same idea? Instead of taking kind of all the elements like I did, you would copy some of them. So like if I wanted maybe the bottom part, copy those two. So maybe it's that bottom you want. Oh, I know. Okay, sorry. I think I just figured out what you want. Sometimes it takes me a minute to get there. So if you've got pre-existing designs, so you can go into your existing designs. So I put them in folders. Terry, I got there. I got there. And basically you want to take the design and stick it in another, like, okay, yeah. Okay, let me back up so I don't lose anyone on this one. Let me just start anew. The interpretation sometimes, we got there. So I've got a graphic. Let's say I've got this image here. That's fine. And I say, oh, I've got another file with that design that I want to add into this file. So I organize, in this case, different client files in here. So I've got different designs under this person. So what I can do is open up these 12 different, basically Instagram posts here and have it added in. So now I've got this design included with this design. And then if I wanted to go here and then add this design. Is this what you're talking about, Terry? I think I finally got there. We got there. So now I can start to, okay, yeah, the folders, because then you can start to move designs around so you don't have all these different file types. Okay, we got there, Terry. Yeah, we'll talk about that next week.